Greetings to all of you who are watching right now. My name is Reverend Cynthia Gerald. I'm the Senior Advisor for Funding Strategies and External Affairs for the Gamaliel Network. And I've been with the network for a little more than 10 years. We are here today because Gamaliel is launching an informational series for folks who think they might be interested in becoming community organizers or supporting the work of community organizers. And we're calling that series Organizing 101. You'll be able to find it on our website and through our social media platforms. And it will be written documents along with interviews like the one that we're engaged in today. So I want to introduce to you the first person that we're talking to in this series, Sister Cheryl Liske. Cheryl, would you introduce yourself to the folks who are watching and let them know who you are, what you've been doing in the network?
Okay, thanks, Cynthia. And I'm guessing because I am the most senior Gamaliel connected organizer in the network, you get to start with me. So, and I've been with the network for over 30 years. I think it's probably close to 34 now. I have to really do the math on that one. And I've been organizing for the most part in the state of Michigan. Starting with an organization in Detroit, actually a small organization, that along with the leaders and some other organizers, we grew into Moses in metropolitan Detroit region, taking us several years to do that. And then we realized that we needed more power throughout the state. So I was assigned to create organizations along with leaders there. So we had connections in other parts of the state, in Saginaw, Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan. And then we adopted an organization that was already existent in Lansing, our capital, Lansing, the capital of Michigan. So I've been doing that throughout my time with Gamaliel, as well as getting involved in certainly not only the national issues, but the training, particularly the training aspects in Gamaliel. So right now, I'm the coordinator of the training team for Gamaliel, along with you, Cynthia, and Juan Soto and Angela James. So, and I've been doing that for as the coordinator officially for I think the last 3 years.
Thanks, Cheryl. For those of you who are watching, listen, when I need something, I go to Cheryl. She's got files and files of really important resources and has had a lot of experience, as you just heard, in this network. And Cheryl, because you've been around for such a long time, I'd like for you to share with folks some of the really significant moments or compelling moments that you've experienced as an organizer in this network. Or changes that you've seen over those years in the field of professional organizing.
Well, we could probably spend a whole day on changes in organizing. And that's one of the things I like about the Gamaliel Network is I think of us as a learning organization. So I think out of the old Saul Alinsky style organizing, we've moved from a very transactional way of operating, so this for that, quid pro quo, all of those kinds of things, to and just trying to figure out what the next win might be. So we've moved from that to what we've begun to call a transformational way of operating. So we've created a vision for how we want society to be transformed, and we call it the transformational narrative. So I think that that's significant because that involves more than just kind of a quid pro quo. It involves our soul, and it means that we can start to act more forcefully, I think, on our values and out of our faith. So I think that that's a significant change. I think also the whole notion of um, uh, power, probably when I started in organizing, certainly when my mentor, Greg Galuzzo, started, a lot of the power was located very locally in our communities. So if we were to confront the powers that be to get some change done, it was done locally, and could happen actually rather quickly. Now, what we know is a lot of the powers that are influencing our community are, if not global, they're at least national, right, or even statewide. But so the kind of actions and pressure that we need to put on powers that be has changed. It's not simply a local agent, but rather there's a global network that we have to do some real sophisticated political analysis about. And that's the nice thing about the network is, as a network, we can figure these things out politically.
Thanks, Cheryl. I didn't actually define community organizing up front, and I'm sure there are lots of ways to define it, but I'm wondering if you could actually provide your definition of community organizing and then say a word about why it's so important.
Well, I think it has to do with what I was just talking about, the power, very early on, even in writing grants, I was talking and the leaders were talking about changing the balance of power in our communities, because so often we're getting steamrolled by those powers, so I think community organizing is about power. It's about building relationships with people on the ground, people in different congregations or agencies, in order to align our values and then act on those values in the political arena. And certainly to do that, we need to have enough power, and that is relationships, right, that we can deliver on our agenda.
Okay. So a final question for you. What advice would you give to a person who was actually thinking about entering the profession of community organizing?
Well, I think that sometimes it, maybe from the outside or from some impressions that you get from other people, it seems like really hard work. And it is. Because it involves working with people and trying to figure out what we're going to do together, so building those relationships takes time. So the advice, it's hard work. And I would say if you're getting into community organizing, hang in there, right? Because after a while, it just gets under your skin, right? And being able to build power, right, with other people to act out your faith and values in the real world is addicting. So you got to sort of hang in there long enough to get addicted. So I don't know how best to explain that, but I think that's the thing. It is going to be hard. And, as they said in Field of Dreams, when the one woman was starting to leave the baseball field, she said, it's just too hard. And her coach said, yeah, that's why it's great. So that's
wow. That's really great, Cheryl. I remember an organizer retreat that we had, oh gosh, probably 7 years ago. And Mike Miller was with us, who, for folks who are listening, Mike Miller was a lead staff person in another organizing network. And the thing that I walked away from that retreat with was this sense that I was part of a lineage, right, of organizers who'd come before me and had shaped a pathway for me, but made space for me to shape that pathway too. And I have to tell you that I feel that way about you, Cheryl, that you have been part of my heritage and helping to shape a pathway for me. And I'm really grateful for that.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for that. And thank you for sharing with folks today some thoughts about organizing. Those of you, again, who are watching, you can expect to see another one of these interviews with another one of our senior organizers in the network in about a week. Just come back to the same site and log in, and you'll be able to view another conversation with another experienced organizer. Thank you. Thanks, Cheryl.
Okay, thank you.